This is what your recovery day should look like, what you should be doing on your recovery day. And where I'm pulling up right now is just a little spot to be able to go paddle boarding. I'm pulling up on the lake. I'll make sure you guys get a nice view of this because it looks pretty dope. Basically, for your recovery day, instead of, just sitting on the couch, doing nothing, doing jack shit, you should go outside. You want to lower your cortisol when you are recovering to be able to increase your testosterone. So you want to go outside, you want to be in the sun, you want to get vitamin D. You don't want to do like a heavy recovery day type of deal where you're doing a bunch of shit and XYZ. You want to just lower your cortisol, get outside, get into nature, go for a little walk, get sunlight. Right? For me, I'm just going out on my paddleboard and I'm just going to be chilling. There's also some cliff jumping here too, so I'm going to look into doing that. I just wanted to pull up to a quiet spot today, do a little paddleboard and get out on the sun. It was my birthday last night, so I took the day off of work. So yeah, you guys can see it's a pretty crazy view. Lake Travis in Austin, Texas. A lot of cool stuff going on here. Yeah, what your recovery day should really look like is just chilling, getting out in water, getting out into nature, relaxing, not doing a whole lot. And don't just sit on the couch all day and do fucking nothing. That's not going to do anything for you. You're not going to get jacked from doing that. You're not going to get a good amount of rest from doing that. You really just want to focus on sleeping, getting outside, getting into nature, put your feet in the ground. All of that different type of stuff is what's really going to work. As you can see, I got the sun beaming on me right now. All your recovery day should look like is you being outside, you being in nature, you being around trees, you putting your feet in the ground. You shouldn't be just in the house, snacking, jerking off, watching TV, doing bullshit, because ultimately all of those things are going to raise your cortisol in the long run. And you want to lower your cortisol so you can recover better, so you can feel better, and so you can increase your testosterone. And that is why I'm out here in Lake Travis on a sunny day in Austin, Texas. I have the paddleboard and I'm just going to be chilling on the lake, relaxing, getting sun, getting vitamin D, chilling by the car. There's literally not a soul around me right now, which is cool. And it's just nature, it's just sun. And that is what your recovery day should look like. You being out in nature, you being out in the sun, you just relaxing, you just chilling. So let me show you guys a view of what we're looking at right now. So this is what your recovery day should look like. You should be outside, you should be in nature, you should be getting vitamin D, because that is the best way to recover and the best way to lower your cortisol. You're never going to be able to lower your cortisol if you're inside, if you're under fluorescent lights, if you're watching a TV, if you're jerking off, if you're doing all this bullshit habits. You're not really going to lower your cortisol and you're not really going to recover as good if you were outside, if you were in nature, if you put your feet in the ground and those type of things. So as you can see, I'm outside here in nature. I'm going to take my shoes off in a little bit. I'm just grounding. I'm just chilling. Might go on the paddleboard, might do a little cliff jumping, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but nothing too crazy, guys. I'm just relaxing, I'm just resting, I'm just chilling. And this is the best way to lower your cortisol and feel your best on a day-to-day basis. If you just come out into nature, get some vitamin D, if you just relax. Right? There's not a soul around me right now. There's no kids screaming, there's no Mexican music, there's no bullshit around me right now. It's just me, this beautiful serenity, this beautiful scene. I'll show you guys a clip. And that's all it's going to be for today. On your recovery days, whether it's Sunday or Wednesday, you should be recovering at least 2 days a week. I used to be lifting 6 to 7 days a week, thinking that was going to get me more jacked, that was going to get me in better shape, that was going to get me shredded. Actually increasing my recovery to 2 full entire days a week is the thing that was better for me in the long run, because it gives your body more time to rest, more time to recover. And that is when you actually grow. Your muscles get broken down in the gym and then they grow from recovery, from resting, from relaxing. And so I've noticed more gains. I've noticed sharper mind, everything just from doing 2 full recovery days a week instead of working out 6 to 7 times a week. Making sure I'm getting out into nature, getting vitamin D, getting on a lake, getting in some water, things of that nature. Not around a lot of people, a lot of bullshit when I'm recovering, so I can really, really lower my cortisol. Once I started doing that, I noticed I felt more relaxed, I felt less stressed, and also my focus was better. I start to think more clearly, And then additionally, the gains just came in too. So the lower your cortisol is, the higher testosterone is going to be, and the better you are going to feel on an every single day basis. Make sure you guys get out into nature. If you take 2 rest days a week, on those rest days, go for a little walk, get out into nature, spend like an hour outside. Spend an hour outside under a tree in nature, right? You're not working every single hour of the day. So take an hour to go outside, to get into nature, to sit by a lake, to get some vitamin D, to drink some Mountain Valley spring water, and to just really relax and chill. Oh yeah, the current is a little crazy. I want to go like this so you can actually see my face. The current is a little crazy out here. You might be able to see that. This is actually how your body wants you to recover. In nature, getting vitamin D, foot in the ground. Your body is begging you to recover just like this, and not under fluorescent lights, not watching the TV, and not sitting inside all fucking day. I'm out here, Lake Travis, y'all can see. And this is what your body is begging you to do. When you're not at work, you need to be getting outside. Obviously, you should be working out, but get outside, get into nature, get vitamin D, especially when you're not lifting, especially when you're just recovering. Get outside, get some vitamin D, get in nature, put your feet in the grass, put your feet in the ground. That is what our society as a whole is just missing nowadays. We spend so much time inside. We spend so much time on our phones, so much time looking at a screen, so much time doing artificial shit that's not even real. And you're going to look back when you're on your grave and you're going to be like, fuck, I wasted so much time doing absolutely nothing. So much time in the fake world. So much time not in real life in this beautiful creation that God gave us. Like, this is insane what I'm looking at right here. I feel like whenever I'm outside, whenever I'm by a lake or a body of natural water, I just feel so much more relaxed, so much more chill. My mind is clear, I'm focused, different things like that. But when I'm in those modes where I'm like watching TV or watching YouTube and not really doing anything, I feel like my mind is all over the place. I feel like I'm stressed. And the thing that you think that is going to release that stress, whether it's like jerking off or watching TV, watching YouTube, all it actually really does is gives you a temporary relief, but doesn't actually relieve the stress. It just gives you a temporary relief, but it comes back even more later down the road. Doing stuff like getting outside, getting into nature, and then finishing the work that you know you need to do in the back of your mind. When you do all of those things, you're going to be less stressed, right? If you are just avoiding reality, avoiding life by watching TV, watching YouTube, jerking off, whatever your thing is that is unhealthy, ultimately what you're doing is you are just putting the stress into the wrong place, right? You could go outside, you could lower your cortisol and then have a lower baseline of cortisol so you're not as stressed out. You could go ahead and get the work done, whatever it is that is on your mind. But a lot of the time we just are looking for a temporary relief that is going to give us more long-term stress. But if you do stuff like this, going into nature, going outside, this is actually a permanent relief, right? This is going to lower your baseline level of cortisol, make you more happy, more relaxed, more focused, more clear-minded. And because this is your natural way of living, this is the natural way humans were always meant to be over hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years. So if you can do this like once a week, you're going to feel so much better, right? When you're not at work, try to be outside, try to get outside and try to get away from a lot of people. I think this right here was something that I was missing because I live in a big city and I live in the city. And even though there's like parks and there's nature in the city, there's always people around. There's always people everywhere. You always hear all these noises, right? You don't ever really get a chance to go somewhere by yourself. So figure out some spots in your city or where you live where you can go by yourself, where you can get into nature, where you can get into the sun, maybe get into a lake, get into a body of water, whatever the case may be, just by yourself. And you will feel so much more relaxed. Like not around a bunch of noise, not around a bunch of music, not around a bunch of bullshit, right? Not around a bunch of artificial stimulation. If you can just live in the quiet, live in the peace, get into nature, get into the water, you're going to lower your baseline level of cortisol so much, and that is just going to increase your testosterone and make you feel so much better as a human being. That's all you guys should be doing. Just get outside, get into nature, bro. You're spending too much time in front of a screen, in front of TV, in front of artificial life. You don't want the end of your life to come around and be like, damn, I wasted half of it looking at a fucking screen, looking at a box, not getting into nature when all of this is out here, right? It cost me literally $5 to come out here for the day and to swim, to cliff jump, to paddleboard. And no one was around me. I was in such a beautiful spot, such a beautiful area. Do the same.